Assalamu alaikum students, you are welcome to SPSC e-lessons. I hope all of you are fine and doing good. As you know that we are studying the chapter reactions of metals, and we have seen in the chapter that metals are firstly extracted from earth in the form of their ores, then they are purified and they are used for making so many different products. Millions of tons of metal is used every year for manufacturing different products. But there is a very common problem which is faced by all these metals, almost all these metals, is that they corrode either easily or somewhat slowly, but they do corrode. So in the lesson we will see that what is corrosion and how can we prevent it. So our topic for the day is corrosion. But before starting the topic, let's see the sight words first. Here are the sight words. Number one is corrosion. Corrosion means to damage a metal, or a metal becomes corroded, its surface becomes corroded because of reaction with any other chemical present in the environment which ruins it, which damages it. Electroplating is a process which involves electrolysis, which we studied in the extraction of metal. Electrolysis is used to plate another metal, an unreactive metal, over the surface of a reactive metal. Then is galvanizing. It is also the same process in which a coat of a less reactive metal is applied on the reactive metal surface. There is sacrificial protection. In this case, we use more reactive metals to prevent less reactive metals. The more reactive metals sacrifice itself for the protection of less reactive metal. Then is the word alloys or metal alloys. These are the combination of metals. So how are metals combined? Firstly, they are melted and mixed, and then that mixture of metals which is in the liquid form is allowed to stay and become hard. Then it is used for manufacturing different things. Why do metals corrode? Metals corrode whenever they come in contact with the chemicals present in the environment. What can be those chemicals? These are mostly water, air or acids which are present in the environment. So what are the steps of corrosion? Corrosion of metals is not a very spontaneous process. It takes some time. So firstly the metals lose their shiny surface, then the metals are slowly eaten away, and in the end the metal becomes weakened and it does not remain of any use anymore. What do the reactivity series tell us about corrosion of metals? It tells us that the metals which are at the top of the reactivity series, they are more likely to get corroded, so they should not be used for making different products. Even the problem of corrosion is also faced by lower metals. Corrosion of cars and bridges which are made up of steel or iron or metals, so it can make them weaken and they can become dangerous for use. So they should be replaced, or there should be some preventing methods which can prevent them from corrosion. And you know that replacing corroded metal objects cost very huge amounts in the whole world every year. Let's see that how can we prevent corrosion. There are many different ways to prevent corrosion of metals. Let's see them one by one. Coating the metals with paint or grease can prevent them from corroding. How can it prevent? Because it stops the air or water or any other chemical to reach the surface of metal. Thus it prevents them. So which things do we protect by using this method? Large objects such as bridges and motor vehicles, they are protected by paint. You also use grease in those parts of machinery which resist each other or which get friction over each other. The paints which are commonly used, they contain lead and zinc metals in them. These are the less reactive metals, so they are used in prevention of other metals. Second method of preventing metals is electroplating. In this process, we use the process of electrolysis to coat another metal over the basic or parent metal. For example, the food cans, they are made up of steel. We plate tin over the steel. Why tin? Because it is non-toxic and it is less reactive than steel or the iron in the steel. So this prevents the reaction between food and the iron, and because in the foods there can be acid, there can be any other thing which can react with iron. So when the cans are coated with tin, these reactions are prevented, thus the cans are also prevented. Another example is that bicycle handlebars, taps and kettles, all these things are electroplated with chromium, which is another metal. Another example is that steel dustbins and corrugated steel roof panels. These are the steel sheets which are placed on the roof in the cold areas. So they are immersed or they are soaked inside the zinc metal, molten zinc metal, and they not soaked, rather you can say they are submerged inside the zinc molten metal, where they get the zinc metal layer deposited on themselves and they are thus prevented. Once again, zinc is lower in the reactivity series than iron in the steel. So less reactive metals are less likely to get corrode. So these are used for preventing other metals. Then is the process sacrificial protection. This is somewhat different from others which we have been studying. We use more reactive metals in this case to prevent less reactive metals. So the more reactive metals are actually more likely to corrode, so they will prevent they will sacrifice for the less reactive metals. That is why we call this protection as sacrificial protection. For example, magnesium is more reactive metal than iron or steel, so it is used in place of iron in the ship hulls. It is used in the ship hulls. Ship hulls is that part of ship which is under water, which always remain underwater. So if iron would be there underwater, it will get corroded. So magnesium is used in place of iron, and when it gets corroded, it is replaced. So this is sacrificial protection. Another example of sacrificial protection are all the underground pipelines are prevented from corrosion by using this technique. We think that when metals get corroded because they are reactive, so why don't we use unreactive metals? Because they do not corrode. So the answer is that unreactive metals are actually more expensive, so it is not feasible for everyone to use unreactive metals. Secondly, some unreactive metals are cheap as well, but they cannot be used. For example, platinum. Why it cannot be used for building cars? Because it is very soft and it is weak as well. So we need some hard metals and such metals which do not corrode easily. So what is the solution to this problem? The solution is alloys. What are metal alloys? These are mixtures of metals. Mixture of two or more metals. How are these alloys formed? Firstly, the metals are allowed to melt. When they will melt, then they will be mixed together, and this mixture will be allowed to cool down. When the mixture will cool, it will become hard. So these alloys are comparatively less reactive and they are more hard than the parent metals. Metal alloys behave entirely differently from all the metals, from the individual properties or the behavior of individual metals which have been used in making the alloys. Let's see some examples. The most commonly used alloy is steel. Main metal in steel is iron. Iron can easily get rusted and it becomes brittle. So to avoid these behaviors of iron is mixed with either nickel or chromium to form steel. Steels are very different. Some of them are made by mixing iron with nickel and some are made by mixing iron with chromium. So the steel which is produced, it is rust resistant and it is harder than iron. Let's see some other examples of alloys. Here are some examples of some metal alloys. Number one is dura-aluminate. It is an alloy which is made up of 95% aluminium and 4% copper. It is used in manufacturing aircrafts because it is very hard metal alloy. Then is bronze. It is made up of 85% copper and 15% tin. It is used in making statues and coins. You would have listened the name bronze coins. Then is solder. It is 66% lead and 33% tin. It is firstly melt at low temperatures, then is said to get hard. It is used in making metal connections. Then next is monel. It is made up of 70% nickel and 30% copper. It is strong and unaffected by seawater. That is why it is used in shipbuilding. Then last one is stainless steel, which is made up of 85% iron and 15% chromium. It is strong and corrosion resistant. It is used to make cutlery and jewelry. So this was all about metal alloys and the ways of preventing corrosion of metals. I hope this will help you in solving assignment number 8. See you in the next assignment. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.